Now, that minister, Matt Thistlethwaite, claimed in that speech that the Albanese government, that was the past, the Albanese government's now fixing it. Except today we learned, no, it's not. Immigration Minister Tony Burke admitted that after 2.5 years of this government and after bringing in more than 1 million immigrants, we still weren't bringing in the right ones with the skills that we actually need.
We haven't been able to get the number of people who industry want to be able to get at the moment. That's true.
And same day, even worse news. With all these immigrants still pouring in, about up to 500,000 in the past financial year, naturally we have a housing crisis. Not enough houses. And today we hear, at the very same time, we've had record numbers of immigrants coming in, just when we've had a record low number of housing approvals over a year, a record low for the past decade or more. More immigrants, less houses. How does that work? Just 159,000 homes when the Albanese government says we need 240,000, and every year for 5 years. Where are all these immigrants going to live? Joining me are Daniel Wild, Deputy Executive Director of the Institute of Public Affairs, and Garth Hamilton, Federal Liberal MP. Daniel, does it strike you as insane to import 500,000 people a year on top of natural population growth when we have just 159,000 homes being built to house all these extra people?
Yeah, insane is one word for it, Andrew. That's for sure. I mean, this is an economic and social disaster. We've got a record intake of migrants, 1.15 million on a net basis over the last 2 years. As you mentioned, the housing commencements are at a 12-year low. I wonder whether anybody in the Albanese cabinet is talking to each other. Doesn't the migration minister actually talk to the housing minister and say we've got, this many migrants coming in, so we need this many houses being built? I don't understand how this can happen. We know that Australians are getting poorer, Andrew. We have, big business, the universities, the political elite who keep telling us migration is good for Australia. Well, if it's so good, then how come Australians are getting poorer? We've had 6 consecutive quarters of negative per capita economic growth, which is the lowest. It's the worst living standards record since the early 1970s. And then, of course, we've got the massive breakdown of social cohesion, where unfortunately many migrants simply are not being acculturated with Australian values. Now, many do the right thing. Absolutely, many do the right thing. But we're seeing signs of a deeply divided society, Andrew.
Oh, you said, is the immigration minister talking to the housing minister? In fact, the minister who used to oversee the immigration portfolio, Claire O'Neill, was shifted to housing. So how she doesn't figure out, wait a minute, I'm actually causing the problems I'm trying to fix, I don't know.